I'm Bob Ross. Welcome to the Joy of Painting. Today we're going to paint a Fritzy scape. Load up the brush here, and we're going to paint a depressed semicircle, a little show booker black, and then paint another semicircle, also depressed. And let's put a little bird right there, just happy. And maybe this bird's not as happy. Maybe this only hears the sadness in the forest. And there's some grass all over it, just wherever you want to put it, just wherever you want to put it. But maybe that's a little dark forest, and maybe there's a creepy path that goes right through it, and only creepy things come out of there. And oh, what do you say? We put a pond right up there and another pond, and what are those things doing up there? Oh, maybe, they're leaking water because they feel victimized all the time. Oh no. Yeah, maybe there's a little patch of grass over there, but not too much, and maybe just a scotia grass right there, and maybe a bird that lives right there, and all that bird does is smell homemade because he's hungry. Okay, that's all the time we have for now. Until next time, God bless, and the box score starts now.
About sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Oh, what a proper opening, Fritzy depressed. Welcome to the box score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Fritzy, you came in full Broncos regalia today, and the boss wasted no time getting on your case. Paulie, did you think that Dan was going to get on him right away at the top of the show?
Yeah, so much so that I think he started before the show started, like moments before the show started. I think Dan said to something first, like, why are you wearing that outfit? And I was like, save it for the air, but Dan didn't wait for the air.
Yeah, it was because of a bet you had, and Dan was going to have Fritzy spin the wheel, but instead Paulie, going for sainthood, suggested that Fritzy go ahead and throw on a Colts jersey and a Andrew Luck hat, if I'm correct, or just a plain old hat, not an ass hat or anything like that. Fritzy, where's that gear right now? You stripped back down to your your Broncos gear.
Yeah, I couldn't get rid of that quickly enough. As soon as the show was over, cap came off, jersey came off. It's in the back room, safe and sound. Hopefully, to never have to wear again. Put the Von Miller jersey and the Bronco cap back on, and
how much of an impact do you think this is going to have on the game?
I'm very concerned about that because I do have a lot of superstitions when it comes to the game, and I'm hoping the fact that I put on that jersey and hat, even for a second, not to mention like an entire show, will not mess up the balance of the Rocky Mountains.
Is it because you put on that Colts jersey?
Without question. Yeah. If something goes awry on Sunday afternoon in Denver, it will be largely due to being forced to take the Broncos stuff off.
If the Broncos win, your Broncos win, will you ask permission to wear Broncos gear on Monday, or will you try to sneak it by the goalie again?
I've learned my lesson, and if the Broncos are fortunate enough to win and advance to the AFC Championship, I will be wearing regular clothes on Monday, unless I reach out to Dan and the guys here. I will. I'll send it. Especially because Sunday now, I would think I can have free range of communication with Dan. He doesn't like when I communicate with him on Sundays when it's football night in America, but because it's a Saturday game, I get the pleasure on Sunday of being open to hawk him and harass him with texts and calls as much as.
Well, I don't think he wants to be bothered any day.
He probably doesn't want to be bothered, but especially,
I mean, nobody wants to be bothered ever.
No, but I feel a little more comfortable that he's working Saturday as opposed to Sunday, so I could at least ask him a question about
if the Broncos win, are you then going to, in the next round, spend a couple of hours the day before the game in the opposing team's jersey and hat?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
I mean, because now that's part of the formula. That's part of the winning formula now. You have to wear, like...
I probably won't, because I'll feel like I'll somehow rationalize it like I'm pushing my luck.
Like you're going to have to need, like, a Ravens jersey or something and a hat, just for, like, 2 hours.
Although I would love if the Ravens and Broncos could both win, then we would host the AFC title game. But, yeah, I think this is a one-shot deal. Wearing something other than Broncos is bad enough, but especially wearing the opposing team in a playoff game, that I would...
Now, you got a lot of tweets today. I know we're going to get to them in a little bit, but one of them said you're like a 45-year-old man who's still wearing football jerseys and old 80s pants.
That was pretty harsh.
Does that bother you at all?
No. It's a valid point, but I've always I'm not shy about wearing stuff that maybe the average 10-year-old would be wearing. Especially when it comes to Bronco stuff and playoff time.
Would your son wear that to school?
I don't know if he'd wear the Zubaz pants, no underwear, but he's worn like an Emmanuel Sanders jersey. He's worn many.
It's like you order a martini, like shaken not stirred at Zubaz. has no underwear.
Yeah, he'll put the jeans on and the sweats on, but he's worn Bronco caps and Bronco jerseys to school. But again, he's 12, and I was really gonna.
Someday he's gonna be 45, though.
Yeah, and I'm setting an example of like that. This is somehow acceptable work clothing.
What do you think, Andy?
40s.
Good work.
Yeah. Nice.
Is there someone that can bring Fritzy
said.
that Colts gear again? Because I don't like the look of this Bronco stuff.
Are you asking me to put this back on?
You know, Fritzy can refuse, though. We're now in a position where Fritzy could choose to not put it on,
I
Brock.
thought, yeah, because Dan's not here. I thought this was just a Dan Patrick.
Dangerous territory here. Fritzy
This
can
is
stand up
Fritzy.
for himself.
But,
All right.
I'm gonna defer. I'll defer to the host if you feel that strongly. But I'd rather
Way to
wear.
stand up for yourself.
I'd rather wear my Bronco stuff. But if you think that it'll somehow.
Fritzy, why don't you say that? I'm not wearing that, and no chance in hell I put that
Okay,
on.
I'm gonna say that then.
Well said. We just
No, I wore this long enough during the Dan Patrick show. It's Broncos.
Take
the rest
that,
of the way I'm
Brock.
Broncos.
Damn it.
eat it.
That's fine. I
like me now?
prefer orange Kool-Aid over the blueberry Kool-Aid anyway. You look like Violet from Willy Wonka. Seton, how about this? What would be the worst
Violet.
punishment on the wheel of punishment had Fritzy had to spin?
Oh boy, the worst punishment? Jeepers creepers.
Worst for him. Let's start there.
Worst for him. Well, it's
Like,
got to be
well, he
worst
did-
for him, but
yeah.
it has to be fun for everyone else.
But he doesn't like the
tricky
Bieber
thing.
wig. Remember the Bieber
Yeah,
wig?
the Bieber.
I think you guys got to narrow it down to adult entertainment watching and foods that I like to eat.
No.
Need more so? You want
No,
more?
Oh,
I'm
you
saying
mean banning?
If you could have a wheel of punishment, but that would be absolutely awful. Where like
Well, we
putting that
can't.
pizza or
We're
Chinese
not
food or
monitoring
something
that,
like
dude.
No, you'd have to just trust that I would.
Okay,
because-
paying. All right, Fritzy, wheel of punishment. Off the top of my head, paying for lunch for a week, wearing underwear for a week.
And you know, the way we could do the underwear thing is if he has to wear it outside of his pants, then we know that he has the underwear on all the time.
Right.
Because
Well,
if they're
then again-
underneath, then it's not really fun.
But I think though the outside of his, I think he enjoys something about the skin on jeans contact. So I don't know if that's punishment. That's like throwing the rabbit into the
yeah,
prayer
underwear
pack.
has become very-
I think he might enjoy the underwear on the outside. By the way, ladies' underwear.
Let's get back to the show here. The fans killed you on Twitter, but they also came up with some suggestions for the wheel that would have been, and they were jersey related as well. One fan suggested that you wear a Phillip Rivers jersey up until the Super Bowl, while another said
great.
combine two of your favorites, sing a Hall & Oates love song to Rivers while wearing his jersey. Now, do either of these appeal to you over wearing
pay
the
for
Andrew
that.
Luck jersey?
I didn't realize how wonderful it was to wear the Andrew Luck jersey and the Colts hat after those choices. But the idea of wearing something Phillip Rivers related or singing like "Kiss on My List" to Phillip Rivers, like I was kind of serenading him, that's just absolutely awful. That makes this look like a slice of pizza.
An alternative. Why don't you book Luck or Rivers? Maybe that would be.
Whoa.
That's a shot that I think you just took that I've been unable to land.
That's tough.
Phillip Rivers.
He's a
jersey.
fan
Andrew speaks and
He's a
drops a
fish that
bomb.
you haven't been able to land. Admit it, Andy Luck has
Yeah,
not
we've been
come
trying.
on.
We've
You're
been
like
trying.
Silent Bob the first 15 minutes, and you just put the
Yeah,
hammer
all of a
down.
sudden, Andrew
That's,
Jones.
That was actually a line
I
that
wish there was a way to reach
I
into the phone and
workshopped
pull
it
the guests
earlier.
in,
I workshopped it earlier.
To be honest,
and I told it to Paul. Paul's like, say it on the air.
Andy IM'd me once in a while during the show. Andrew will IM me something that he's thinking about, and I usually say go. And the IM me goes, "What is this?" Like, ooh, I'm kind of like, wow, that'd be rough right here. And if I'm cringing, I can't imagine how rough it is.
Oh, come on. I know you're trying to book Andy Luck. I mean, just saying you hate wearing a Colts jersey is really going to help.
Well, Jordan,
And I have
if
said a few
your
things about Phillip
teams,
Rivers is not
if
helping
the
the process.
Broncos lose, it's your daddy's fault for wearing the Luck jersey and the hat. Stick around. Curt Schilling is going to come on the DP show to clear the air and comes to the defense of a Danette.
You guys have the worst waiting music I've ever heard. Ever.
Ever.
Your hold music is horrific.
Okay, Seton, what is our hold music, and how do we improve that for Schill?
It sounded like I was expecting to get a call to a dentist chair at some point.
It is sort of similar to that. It's like just like generic,
Oh, it is?
nameless music. It's probably called like smooth jazz trance or something like that.
We are back here on the box score. That's Curt Schilling absolutely ripping the on-hold music, kicking off his interview. See, that's not the first time you guys have received a complaint, right?
Yeah, Charles Barkley also talked about how much it sucked too, which they're right. It's just generic music that is basically hold music. you know, and so yeah, that is sort of what.
Is it gonna be addressed, do you think, or no?
Unlikely. Although, I mean, I could, but I'd rather not. We've been using it for 7 years now. I think it's pretty much in there.
By the way, that was, Brock, that was classic Schill. I felt like I was in a time machine where he got on the line and he didn't even wait to be asked a question before he started hammering into something. It really felt like, because I heard Schilling the other day and he didn't sound too good. He sounded tired. It might have been a morning show. And he came in guns blazing. It was kind of neat. It kind of like back to 03, 04 when he was on our show all the time.
Schilling is solid. And you guys had him on today to clarify his comments regarding John Smoltz getting into the Hall of Fame over him. Here's Curt Schilling telling his side of the story.
If you heard me on Baseball Tonight, which is where this all originated, the amount of laughter around the commentary was enough to make sure everybody understood it was a joke. John Smoltz is as conservative a Republican as I've ever been and always has been, and I've always known that. It was said, it couldn't have been said in more of a jest, humorous way, first off. Secondly, there's not a planet in the galaxy that I would disrespect the guys that got into the Hall of Fame, ever. And that would be the height of degrading the accomplishment of those guys, is saying that they got in for a reason I didn't get in. It's ridiculous.
You know, what's interesting there is that Curt's talking about his appearance on Baseball Tonight, and we were playing the appearance on WEEI. So I'm not sure, you know, maybe they were delivered two totally different ways, but it sounds like the message was basically the same. So
I was confused over that very issue because it didn't sound like a joke at all.
I wonder. Sometimes you ever say something and then you don't think about what you said. You just say it, and then when someone asks you about it, you're like, I don't remember saying that at all. And if someone played back audio of me of something, or any of us, we see like, oh, I actually said that. He was on WEI, and he was.
What if you said it twice in 2 days? At least twice in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, I know, but you know, Curt is something else. He's definitely not boring, which is why we have him on.
Seton, are you willing to forgive Schilling on the whole bloody sock thing now that he's come to your defense on Twitter against a fan that tried to blast you?
Well, man, that is interesting. I separate the two things. It was surprising that he came to my defense. He came to my defense over someone that was defending him, which is really bizarre, but very much appreciated. I'll give him a little bit of a hall pass now with the sock because he used the term butt clown when defending me. I really appreciated that. That gave me a lot of laughs.
Is that another step in you becoming a Red Sox fan, by the way? Now you're a Patriots fan.
No.
Personal friend of Curt Schilling.
I'm definitely a Bruins fan.
No, there's no way you're
personal. I've got a relationship with Curt Schilling.
Yeah, I mean, 2015, Poochie Bun, Seton O'Connor would have been a big Curt Schilling fan. Like he would have been your boy, like a warrior. He's in. I know it's hard to do this, but you're a lot different than you were in 04.
I'm extremely different. That is true. Although I was much more of a Yankee fan then, so I hated Curt Schilling. Absolutely hated him. And well, let's face it, he sort of fessed up with the sock thing, but he was still lying when he said it was ketchup. There's no way that was ketchup. It's definitely some type of red dye.
Schilling was awesome. Another person the boss wanted to talk to today was legendary announcer Dick Enberg, in large part because he hosted a show called Sports Challenge, and Dick told the boss what it was like to be around some sports legends after filming.
We'd do 3 shows a day, so whoever lost in the first show, they'd hang around the green room, and the same for the second show. So by the end of the day, we had 15 sports greats all in one place, all having a libation and telling stories. And Joe DiMaggio would be talking to Joe Louis, and Johnny Unitas would be chasing down Bronco Nagurski. And here as a young man, I was the fly on the wall, able to hear these great stories and be able to associate with them on whatever basis that might be. Never asked for a single autograph.
That's so cool. I mean, Dick Enberg, we could have done an hour with him easy. I mean, I was looking up his bio, and I was in the middle of the interview, and I stumbled on a thing that said about calling a Muhammad Ali fight. I'm like, of course he did. Of course he just had one Muhammad Ali fight in his career that he called. And I said to Dan's ear, I'm like, hey, ask him one question about Muhammad Ali. Dan did it. He gave us this great story, and he probably has 100 others we never got to. Yeah. I was telling Seton during the break, I always get this sadness whenever we have an older legend of sport, music, anything on. I'm like, oh man, I'm glad we have him on, but I always think I have this morbid feeling that they're going to pass away. And it goes back to a few years ago we had on George Plimpton, the legendary writer, socialite, a very well-known guy outside of sports and in sports. We had him on a Friday, out of the blue. It was the anniversary. This is maybe 06 we had him on. Anniversary of Paper Lion. And we had him on out of the blue. We got him. And he died 2 days later.
Wow.
And it was his last interview. And I don't think seriously that Dick Enberg's going to pass away. No, but I always had this positive feeling. Like, fuck, I'm glad we got one more interview with the guy.
It's a little,
just in case, like, there's not another time.
I was thinking the same thing.
With Vin Scully recently. Vin Scully looks like he's in great shape.
And you don't want to think this is going to be the last time he's ever on our show thing. I totally agree with that.
But it does go through my head, and I'm like, as a radio producer, I'm glad we have that in the can.
We had Harry Callis.
Yeah, we had Harry Callis not long ago.
I thought about this. And I thought about this the other day with Stuart Scott, because we were trying and very, very close to getting Stuart Scott on the show about 4 months ago. And he was just too tired to do it, but it was that close to happening. He wanted to come on. ESPN totally approved it, to give them credit. Fritzy had been working on it for a while, and it was thumbs up. When he came back from the ESPYs, he's like, I got to kick it back a little bit and stay in the hospital and take care of my family pretty soon, and it never happened. And I don't regret it, because Stu had other things obviously to do, but I would have loved to have had one more 12-minute interview with him and Dan together.
Well, we will look forward to more great interviews on the DP show. Stay with us. McLovin spills it all over the place in the back row. Clean up, please. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History. Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. We are back here on the Box Score. McLovin is by far and away the spill king in the man cave, and today his spill was so massive and so classic that it actually caught the boss's eye mid-segment. Let's take a look at this.
Anybody else?
It's a lot of guys that you got. Charles Haley left over.
Charles Haley should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be.
That's crazy.
What'd you spill, McLovin?
Oh, huge coffee spill. We're all okay. Everybody's fine. None of the equipment was injured.
His mic base is sitting in a pool of tepid coffee. Everything's okay.
Well, I wish it was tepid.
Look at that. I got Seton cleaning up.
Seton's being a little over dramatic right now. He's worried about the equipment. We're fine.
Yes, we're worried about the equipment.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to.
I was just trying to help. I don't know if it was really necessary.
By the way, I really blame Paulie for all this. If you, for some reason, didn't have the Hall of Fame list ready, Dan's like, who else? And I was going to go get the napkins, and you went strangely silent. Did you not have the list in front of you?
I didn't. I kind of assumed you would have this one.
Yeah, I did. I did, and then I spilled my coffee. I had the list like right here. And then, you had the top three guys off the top of your head.
Out of the back of my ear, I hear, 2 days, 2 days, and I hear you like getting freaked out. I was like, what happened?
I know. This is what I did. I yelled, 2 days. And then I hear nothing. 2 days. And then I hear him pick up, hello, Dan Patrick Show. Like 10 seconds after I first yelled for him, I'm like, this is not going good.
Honestly, I didn't see the spill. Do you not have a cover on your coffee?
No, well, the reason I didn't today, I was totally disorganized because I got in at like 9:03.
So you got 9:03, you can't
usually I have my Starbucks cup with a lid.
Look how long did this take me?
Yeah.
No, I had to use a different cup.
Well, we have video of the spill right here. Let's take a look at it together, shall we? Here it is unfolding.
Of course.
Yeah. I was basically, okay, so we're talking Hall of Fame. I'm moving towards the mic.
He just moved his hands.
Yeah, and also I knew the camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna call BS. I think you did this one on purpose. I think
everyone thought that because the camera was perfectly focused on me.
Yeah.
Like it was waiting for me.
You're not gonna admit it, but I think McLovin, he didn't get a lot of run today. Against the Grain was out of the rundown. It was
he literally dumped it right on his box. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Andrew.
And look at Fritzy, how upset Fritzy
I came to the rescue real fast.
The concerned Fritzy as he almost looked up.
What do I do? Okay, you guys never run in this because you don't really spill stuff. What do you do in that situation? There's a spill, but you know Dan's about to call on you.
Stay at the show.
You call for 2 days and you get that and do exactly what you did.
But what if the equipment was at stake? Would you have the cameraman? What if I was going to get electrocuted? Could the cameraman then drop his camera?
Absolutely not. He needs to document.
I just want to make sure all the policies are set out in advance if such a case.
The cameraman here, and I speak to all cameramen here, and see they'll back me up. Your job is to shoot what happens in the studio. If one of us gets injured, that's everyone else.
So the cameraman cannot intercede like a true documentarian. Unless
literally I was having a heart attack and they were the only one to do CPR, and still
I still don't even know about
that. Is it a case-by-case situation?
Because we're pretty young. It's probably just angina.
What if the robotic cameras are not trained on your spot. Your
What if he
position.
can like so easily save your life? Like all he had to do was hit one switch. You'd still rather
Wait to
and
see
hold
how
his
it plays
camera.
out first.
Would you rather have a Danette die? He wouldn't even have to drop his camera.
Yeah, there's a Danette dead on the floor, and everyone comes in from the back room, and he's just standing there with a camera, looking at this dead guy getting reactions.
The final footage is like.
Zooming in.
You know, but if we miss it, and what if the guy gets right up and the camera and gets down there, and you just were having like a little.
Okay, how about this? The cameraman can help, but he has to go get a tripod first and set up the camera, and then he can assist.
Okay, set up tripod.
What if he like his battery runs out right before need a new brick?
Yeah.
You know what?
Charge the battery first.
It's our fault. He's union, man.
All right, McLovin, let's take a look at you trying to call out the cameraman for not helping you. That didn't go your way because you ended up taking the camera. The boss made you grab the camera, and then you just threw coffee all over poor Ian, the cameraman. I mean, what's with all the rage?
Did you realize there was that much left?
I didn't see this.
I hope you didn't realize that there was like very little
You
left.
deliberately threw coffee on an employee.
Wow, Fritzy, what's the name of the cameraman he's throwing that on, by the way?
That'll be Ian. That was very surprising.
Oh boy, Fritzy.
You heard that today for the first time.
But I thought you were joking with him, and there was like nothing left in the cup. But you got a good amount though.
Cool coffee on the
Wow, that is like the rudest thing I've ever seen you do.
That's wild.
Well, I wanted to prove that you could still. The cameraman who didn't help me, I was getting vengeance. I proved I still held the camera. That was me shooting, by the way.
But you could have spilled it.
By the way, do I get credit for as the cameraman documenting said awful event?
Yes, you did hold the camera pretty well.
I saw.
You really caught that nicely. I was surprised.
Coffee at the dude.
Honestly, I thought it was. I thought it was empty.
If he wasn't 130 pounds, he'd kick your
And he
ass.
happens to be wearing a brown shirt. Thank God.
That's wrong, man.
Why would you do that to mini Zach Galifianakis? Do not go away. It is the Danette Football Night in America Challenge Divisional round.
Are we going to be tough on the set? What are we wearing? Because we all have to do the same thing.
I don't know what the heck you and Tony Dungy are wearing. I'm wearing hats. I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing a scarf. I'm going to Bass Pro Shops after this, and I'm getting me some long underwear.
We are closing up shop here on the box score. Dan headed into New England for the Ravens-Patriots game on Saturday. Dungy already said he's going to wear a hat. Rodney said he's going to wrap up. Paulie, have you convinced the boss to do the ultimate topper and just go just a suit on Saturday?
Well, I hope he does. I'm going to start with Rodney Harrison, though. He's from the same neighborhood as I am, and he's soft. I can't believe he can't take this cold. Dan should go poncho, hood, and just take it off right before he goes on air and make a statement to the world. But he'll probably go with what the other guys do because he has a boss who's going to tell them all what to wear and some type of symmetricality. But I will say this, no scarf for Dan Patrick. No scarf. Sit on that one, guys.
Oh, I might want to take that action.
Right?
You really picture him in a scarf?
I think Dan's gonna wear a scarf.
Like one of those French guys where it's all balls up like this?
I don't think so. I think there's a more traditional, classic way to wear a scarf, which is more tucked under. It still does the same job, but
All
it's more
business?
under your coat. I think he's gonna do that. I think he's actually gonna do that, gloves, and a hat. I think he's going full
Well,
beast.
while Dan, Tony, and Rodney are going to be battling the elements in Foxborough, the Danettes and I are going to do battle with each other in this.
The Danette Football Night in America Challenge.
Saturday, the Ravens are going to be taking on the Patriots, so we're going to make this challenge very simple. You're going to call the winner for 1 point and margin of victory for an extra point. And how about this? Let's take a look here at the leaderboard. I'm at the head of the class with 15. Seton's in second with 13. And McLovin with 12 and Paulie 10. Fritzy, you got 6. You know what? Let's add the scarf to this. Scarf or no scarf. So I'm going to start off, since I'm in the lead. I'm going to go Patriots by 11, and he will wear a scarf. Seton, you're in second. How about you?
I'm going to say Ravens by 9 with scarf.
McLovin.
I'm going to say Patriots by 7, sans scarf.
Paulie.
Patriots by 3 in overtime.
Whoa.
No scarf.
Ooh, so solid. Fritzy?
I have the Ravens by 4, no scarf.
Be sure to tweet us at the Box Score Show with the greatest hashtag in the world, hashtag BSFNC. And give us your guess. Fritzy, how about it? Who's on next week?
Tony Dungy and Gary Danielson will be with us on Monday. Jason Taylor will join us right here in the Milford Studios on Tuesday.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for watching the Box Score. We will be back on Monday right here on Audio Channel 239. You'll also catch the podcast available on iTunes or at Podcast One for extra content. Hey, booyah, one more time, brother.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!